To start with you on this last one. What do you see as the warrior you are, as the most important mission standing before you?
To know the difference between the tree of life and the tree of death. Because there's a tree of life that if you water, will sprout, and it'll send spores across, and it will keep planting and planting, and this life will continue, and it will allow us to have oxygen and all the things that we need to survive, and we can pull the fruits off those trees. But the tree of death has been watered for a long time. The corporations, the privateer corporations are controlling, that create fires in Quebec, that create despair in peoples. That tree of death, if we continue to allow that to be watered, we've got to know the difference. And we've got to have discernment for that, because sometimes we can be fooled and we need to be careful.
Go ahead.
You know, in the carnal and in our physical world today, the two things that I feel like would really break light into the darkest of places would be a full investigation of the Epstein sexual criminal cartel, a full investigation, and probably no better place to start with that investigation than in New Mexico at the Zorro Ranch. We know that Epstein didn't just happen to land in New Mexico by chance. New Mexico is one of the most corrupt states in the United States. Recently was voted the most addicted state in the U.S. And not too long ago was voted the most least desirable state in the U.S. to live in. And the only reason that is not a reflection of the land, it's not a reflection of the people, it's not a reflection of our culture or anything. It's a reflection of the corruption inside of our government and the cartel that runs our elections. So New Mexico is extremely corrupt. I would start in Santa Fe, New Mexico with the Zorro Ranch with Epstein. And secondly, I would demand to see the Capitol surveillance footage from January 6th inside the U.S. Capitol. And I think probably the best place to start would be inside of the Speaker's lobby, because like I mentioned yesterday, I would like to see something other than what John Sullivan or Jaden X, a BLM propagandist, shot on his own personal cell phone, because that's all we've been allowed to have the respect to see to date. If you've seen the shooting of Ashley Babbitt, you've seen the work of John Sullivan. So if we are to just swallow what is fed to us and walk away, then we're morons and we deserve to get a bellyache. We must not receive what they're trying to cram down our throat. We must always demand more. In the Capitol, there was thousands of, or 1,700, I think, cameras, different camera locations. We don't need 1,700, we only need one. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Kevin McCarthy, all of the Republican Congress right now in Washington, D.C. is nothing short of a disgrace. We know the Democrats are out to destroy us, but whenever it's the Republicans that are keeping the footage from being seen, at the very least, it's tampering with evidence or obstruction of justice if they don't allow the footage to be given up through discovery, through the trial. The video footage isn't even allowed to defendants. That would make as much sense as if I charged somebody for breaking into my house and they said, no, I didn't go into that room. And I said, yeah, you did. And they said, well, you have a camera in there. We want to see the video evidence through discovery. Do you think the courts would allow me to say, oh no, you can't see that footage, but I'm still going to charge you for going in? It's exactly what the United States government is doing to the January 6th defendants now, and it's the greatest disgrace that we're currently in.